You know that feeling when you walk out into your garden early in the morning, expecting to see your plants glowing in the sunlight, only to find leaves full of holes, stems chewed down, and a few sneaky insects pretending they don't know what happened overnight? It's frustrating, right? You put in all that work, watering, pruning, caring, and some tiny pest just decides to turn your garden into its personal buffet. But here's the thing, you don't need to grab chemical sprays or fancy pesticides. In fact, your best defenders might already be growing in your garden, or they could be planted right next to the ones you're trying to protect. Today, we're talking about 25 companion plants that instantly repel garden pests. These are the quiet heroes of the garden, the ones that fight for you, day and night, just by existing. And the best part, most gardeners overlook them. So grab your gloves, maybe a notepad, and let's walk through the garden together. By the end of this video, you'll not only know which plants protect which, but you'll start seeing your garden as a living ecosystem, not a battlefield. And trust me, when you let nature work for you, the results are amazing. Let's begin with one of the most classic yet misunderstood duos, basil and tomatoes. Now, you've probably heard that basil helps tomatoes grow better, but few people realize just how powerful that relationship is. Basil naturally repels mosquitoes, whiteflies, and even aphids that love to suck on tomato leaves. The aroma alone confuses pests. It's like trying to find your way home when someone's constantly moving the road signs. Plus, the two plants seem to share nutrients well. The tomatoes become sweeter and the basil grows lush and aromatic. So next time you plant tomatoes, tuck a few basil plants in between. Your dinner and your garden will thank you. Next up, we have rosemary and cabbage. Now, this one's a little less obvious, but it's a total game changer. The strong, woody scent of rosemary completely throws off cabbage moths and loopers. These pests rely on smell to find your cabbage leaves, but rosemary's fragrance works like natural camouflage. The best part? Rosemary doesn't need much attention. Once it's established, it's as tough as they come. Plant it near your cabbages, kale, or even Brussels sprouts, and you'll notice a big drop in pest activity. It's one of those quiet tricks that feels like cheating, but in a good way. Speaking of scent, let's move to lavender and carrots. Lavender's beautiful purple blooms are more than just eye candy. They're a powerhouse of pest control. Carrot flies can sniff out your carrots from a distance, but lavender's intense aroma masks their scent. And as a bonus, it attracts pollinators that help improve your garden's overall health. Imagine a row of delicate carrots surrounded by lavender. It's not just effective, it's gorgeous. Your garden looks like a painting, and your harvest stays pest-free. Now let's talk about thyme and broccoli. Thyme might look like a small herb, but it's got serious protective instincts. It repels cabbage worms, which are some of the worst offenders when it comes to ruining broccoli and other brassicas. The tiny leaves release oils that pests can't stand. And since thyme spreads gently along the soil, it also serves as a living mulch, keeping weeds down and moisture in. If your broccoli has ever looked like Swiss cheese, thyme is the friend you've been missing. That brings us to a true legend, marigolds. You've probably seen them in almost every garden, but few people truly appreciate how powerful they are. Marigolds don't just repel one pest, they repel several. Nematodes, whiteflies, aphids, you name it. Their roots even release chemicals that protect the soil itself. I like to think of marigolds as the bouncers of the garden. They stand there looking bright and friendly, but the moment trouble shows up, they handle it quietly and efficiently. You can pair them with almost anything, tomatoes, beans, cucumbers, or even fruit trees. It's no wonder old-time gardeners swore by them. Next up, nasturtiums and squash. Now, this one's fascinating because nasturtiums actually lure pests away from your main crops. They act as trap plants. Aphids, beetles, and even caterpillars will go for the nasturtiums instead of your tender squash leaves. It's like setting up a decoy buffet. Plus, nasturtiums look incredible with their round leaves and edible flowers. They make the garden come alive with color while quietly doing pest control behind the scenes. And while we're on the subject of flowers, let's look at calendula and peppers. Calendula, or pot marigold, isn't just beautiful, it's strategic. Its sticky sap attracts and traps whiteflies and aphids before they can spread to your peppers. At the same time, it invites beneficial insects like ladybugs and lakewings, which feed on the pests that remain. It's like having both a pest alarm system and a security team built into your garden. The peppers, in turn, provide partial shade that keeps the calendula blooming longer into the season. Then we have geraniums and grapes. Now, this one surprises most people. Geraniums, particularly the scented varieties, release compounds that repel leafhoppers and Japanese beetles, both notorious for attacking grapevines. Planting them nearby gives your grapes a fighting chance while adding color under the trellis. And since geraniums love similar conditions to grapes, lots of sun and moderate watering, it's a match made in horticultural heaven. Now let's move into the leafy defenders, plants that might not look tough, but protect your garden in clever ways. Take spinach and strawberries, for example. This combination is all about teamwork. Strawberries shade the soil, keeping spinach cool during warm spells. Meanwhile, spinach's presence discourages slugs and leaf beetles that tend to target strawberries. Plus, their roots grow at different depths, so they never compete. It's the kind of quiet cooperation that makes you realize nature really does have things figured out. Next up, we have lettuce and radishes. Now, here's a duo that's as practical as it is protective. Radishes grow fast and attract underground pests like root maggots away from slower-growing lettuce. The radishes act as decoys, taking the damage while the lettuce stays untouched. And once you harvest the radishes, you've already cleared out most of the thread. And the best part, you can do this in small containers or raised beds. It's space-saving pest control at its finest. Then we've got celery and onions. If you've ever noticed pests ignoring onions, it's because of their strong sulfur compounds. That same property makes onions a great protector for celery, carrots, and even beets. Celery, on the other hand, benefits from the pest barrier and helps retain moisture in the soil, keeping onions from drying out too quickly. It's a simple partnership that works quietly all season long. Let's take a moment here. As you're imagining these pairings, you're probably realizing something. Pest control doesn't need to fight nature, it means working with it. The moment you start pairing plants intentionally, your garden starts balancing itself out. That's when gardening stops feeling like a chore and starts feeling like harmony. Now on to another powerful team, garlic and roses. Most people grow roses just for beauty, but if you've had aphid problems, this combo is your solution. Garlic naturally repels aphids, spider mites, and even Japanese beetles. The sulfur in garlic acts like an invisible shield around your rose bushes. Meanwhile, the roses provide a bit of shade that garlic appreciates, especially in hot climates. And the best part? When they bloom together, the visual contrast of tall green stalks and delicate petals is breathtaking. Another underappreciated duo is chives and carrots. Carrot flies are snaky. They lay eggs at the base of your carrot plants, and the larvae chew through the roots. But plant chives nearby, and the strong, oniony aroma completely masks the carrot scent. It's like giving your carrots an invisibility cloak. And since chives attract pollinators when they flower, your whole garden gets a boost in biodiversity. Next is mint and cabbage. Now, this one comes with a little warning. Mint's scent is incredible for deterring cabbage moths and ants, but it spreads aggressively. Always plant it in a pot or container and place it near your cabbage patch. The aroma keeps the pests guessing and your cabbage protected. Plus, you'll always have fresh mint for tea. It's a win-win, as long as you keep it contained. And let's not forget sage and beans. Beans often fall victim to beetles and weevils, but sage's fragrance drives them away. The two plants don't compete, and the sage can even help improve airflow between bean plants, reducing fungal problems. The combination of earthy sage and climbing green vines looks beautiful and smells even better after a summer rain. Let's pause here for a quick breath, because we've already covered 12 of the strongest natural pest deterrents you can grow. And if you've noticed, most of them also attract beneficial insects or improve soil health. That's what makes companion planting so magical. You don't just fix one problem, you create a whole web of natural solutions working together. If you've found a few pairings that caught your attention so far, drop a comment below and tell me which one you're most excited to try. I love hearing what's working in other people's gardens, because every space is different, every soil has its own story, and we're all learning together. And if you're new here, welcome to Urban Eden Garden. We keep things simple, sustainable, and affordable, because gardening doesn't need to break the bank. It just needs a bit of knowledge and a whole lot of love for growing. All right, that's part one. In the next section, we'll cover some of the most surprising, lesser-known combinations, plants that not only repel pests, but also boost flavor, yield, and overall health in your garden. Some of these last ones are my personal favorites that even experienced gardeners overlook. Stay tuned because we're just getting started.
In the first part, we explored some of the most trusted companions, plants that protect, attract, and balance your little patch of paradise. But now we're stepping into the second half. This is where things get even more interesting. Because while the first 12 plants are the classics, these next ones, they're the underdogs. The plants most gardeners walk past without realizing the magic they bring. They don't just protect your crops. They transform how your garden functions. So Take a deep breath. Listen to the birds for a second. And let's step into the next layer of natural defense. Let's start with something a lot of people have, but never used to its full potential. Catnip, and eggplant. Catnip might make cats roll around in bliss, but flea beetles, they can't stand it. And flea beetles are one of the worst offenders when it comes to chewing holes in your eggplant's tender leaves. By planting catnip around your eggplants, you're basically creating a scent barrier that pests avoid completely. Just be mindful. Catnip can spread easily. So keep it pruned, or plant it in containers around your eggplants. And if a neighborhood cat stops by for a visit, that's just another visitor appreciating your pest-free patch. Now, one of my personal favorites, dill and cucumbers. You wouldn't think these two have much in common, but in the garden, they're best friends. Dill attracts ladybugs, lacewings, and other beneficial insects that feast on aphids and mites, the very pests that love cucumbers. Plus, Dill's tall, airy growth doesn't shade your cucumbers too much. If you've ever had cucumber vines struggle mid-season, try pairing them with dill this year. And bonus, when harvest time comes, you've already got dill on hand for pickling. Nature's convenience at its best. Moving on to one of the most powerful and least talked about allies, borage and tomatoes. Now this combo is something I recommend every gardener. Borage is a blue flowering that repels tomato hornworm, a pest that can destroy an entire plant in days. But here's the secret sauce. Borage doesn't just keep pests away. It actually improves tomato flavor and boosts their growth. Its deep roots pull trace minerals up from the soil, sharing nutrients that tomatoes thrive on. And those star-shaped blue flowers, they attract pollinators like bees, keeping your tomato plants productive all season. It's one of those rare plants that gives more than it takes. Now for a simple yet often overlooked duo, cilantro and spinach. Spider mites can be a nightmare for especially in warmer weather. Cilantro, with its aromatic oils, naturally repels them. The beauty here is in timing. Cilantro loves cooler weather, just like spinach. So when you plant them together in early spring or late fall, they complement each other perfectly. And when cilantro sends up its delicate white flowers, it attracts hover parasitic wasps, which both hunt pest larvae. Talk about efficiency. Then there's oregano and peppers. Now I know what you're thinking. Oregano's just an herb for the kitchen, right? Well, it's also a stealthy pest deterrent. Its strong aroma confuses insects like spider mites that attack pepper plants. Plus, the low-growing oregano helps suppress weeds and retain moisture around the pepper's roots. It's one of those partnerships that makes your garden look lush, quietly maintaining its own natural defense system. Up next is a combination that's all about balance. Sunflowers and corn. At first it sounds strange, but these two really support each other. Sunflowers attract aphids away from keeping them busy, while also providing shade during the hottest part of the day. Their tall stalks can even serve as natural climbing bean plants if you're feeling creative. And because sunflowers bloom earlier, they bring in beneficial insects that stick around to protect your corn when it starts to tassel. It's like planting a team captain right beside your main crop. Speaking of protection, let's talk about parsley and asparagus. Now this one's an old gardener's secret. Asparagus beetles are relentless, but parsley acts like a natural deterrent. When planted close together, parsley's strong scent throws beetles off the trail. In return, the tall asparagus ferns give parsley a little bit of shade, preventing it from drying out too quickly. And once asparagus season ends, you're still harvesting fresh parsley right through the summer. Two crops, one solution. Now, one of my all-time favorites for fruit growers, tansy and fruit trees. Tansy is an old-fashioned plant you rarely see these days, but it's one of the most pest repellents you can grow. Ants, moths, flies, they can't stand it. And since ants often farm aphids on fruit trees, driving them away helps cut the problem at the source. A small clump of tansy near the base of your tree creates an invisible shield. Just keep it trimmed. It grows tall and bold. Its yellow button-like flowers also bring a nostalgic garden charm to your orchard. Next on our list is yarrow and lettuce. Now, yarrow is one of those plants that does behind the scenes. It's almost unfair. It attracts beneficial predatory insects like ladybugs and lacewings, which keep aphids and caterpillars in check. Meanwhile, its presence improves soil structure and even helps neighboring plants resist disease. When paired with lettuce, which tends to attract and wilts easily, yarrow steps in like a big sibling, protective, nurturing, and beautiful to look at. And now for something beautifully fragrant: lemon balm, and broccoli. Broccoli is one of those crops that seems to be a magnet for cabbage worms and moths. But lemon balm completely disrupts their scent trail. The strong citrusy aroma makes it almost impossible to locate their target. Plus, lemon balm attracts bees, which help improve pollination in nearby plants. Just like mint, though, it can spread fast. So keep it in a pot if you don't want it taking over your beds. The bonus? Every time you brush against it, the air fills with that fresh lemon scent. It's hard not to smile when you're around it. We've covered quite a few pairs now, and you can probably see the pattern. It's all about natural balance. The right plants don't just grow side by side. They communicate. Their scents, their roots, even their timing work together like a community. That's what makes companion planting so incredible. It's nature's teamwork in action. But let's go beyond the science for a moment. There's something deeply satisfying about watching your garden thrive without relying on chemicals. When you notice holes in your leaves or see beneficial insects patrolling the beds, that's your reward. That's the garden telling you it's working as it should. Now, here's the truth. Not every garden will need all 25 of these pairings. You could start small. Pick 2 or 3 combinations that fit what you already grow. Observe how they work together, and you'll start to see your own unique version of balance. That's the beauty of gardening. It's personal. Let's take a moment to imagine your garden a few weeks from now. Your tomatoes surrounded by basil and borage. The air thick with fragrance and the hum of bees. Your peppers nestled beside oregano, strong and glossy under the sun. Maybe a few marigolds standing guard at the borders, bright and cheerful, keeping everything safe. And in a corner, a small patch of lavender waving in the breeze, masking the scent of carrots beneath. That's not just pest control. That's harmony. That's gardening done right. Now, before we wrap up, let me share 3 quick bonus tips that can make these companion plantings even more effective. First, rotate your companions each season. Even the best pairs can lose their edge of pests or if the soil nutrients shift. Rotating helps reset the balance. Second, observe and adjust. If something isn't thriving, move it. Companion planting isn't a fixed formula. It's a conversation between plant and environment. Every garden is unique, and sometimes it takes a little tweaking to find what works best. And third, trust time. Nature works on her own schedule. You might not see instant results, but over weeks, you'll notice fewer pests, healthier soil, and a garden that feels more alive. It's a slow, steady transformation absolutely worth the wait. So, let's do a quick recap of what we've covered. We started with basil and tomatoes, the classic duo that enhances both flavor and defense. Then rosemary and cabbage, lavender and carrots, thyme and broccoli, all using scent and companionship to keep pests confused. We moved through marigolds, nasturtiums, and calendula, flowers that attract beneficial insects. Then we explored leafy like spinach and strawberry, lettuce and radishes, and aromatic protectors like garlic, mint, and sage. And finally, in this part, we uncovered the power players. Catnip with eggplant, dill with cucumbers, borage with tomatoes, cilantro with spinach, oregano with peppers, sunflowers with corn, parsley with asparagus, tansy with fruit trees, yarrow with lettuce, and lemon balm with broccoli. Together, these 25 pairs form a living shield around your garden, a natural ecosystem that defends itself. Now, before you head out to plant your next combination, here's something I want you to remember.
A garden isn't just a place where plants grow. It's a place where relationships grow between plants, soil, insects, and yes, even you. When you start planting with intention, you're joining that conversation. You're saying to nature, let's work together. And that's when the magic really happens. If you learn something new or found a pairing you can't wait to try, drop a comment below.